Welcome to the Wynn Show, where everybody comes to win. I'm your hostess, Wynn Godbold, and we hope that in watching these interviews, you will be inspired to take action on making your impact in the world. Remember, nothing is impossible. The very word says, I'm possible. Enjoy the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Wynn Show, where everybody comes to win. Today on the porch, we are blessed to have Jackie Neal with us. Jackie is an owner agent for My Ideal Solutions. And I'm going to just start right off by letting Jackie tell you what the heck that is.
Oh, well, it's your ideal solutions for your insurance for your ideal life. How is that? That's what I do.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Insurance is a big deal. You have too much, you don't have enough. Your ideal solution is your specialty, right?
That's correct.
And so what goes into making my ideal solution?
You know what, Wynn? It's listening to what your needs are. What's your family all about? What's your life all about? Do you travel a lot? You know, do you stay home? Do you have a large family? Do you have a history of illnesses in your family? You know, it just goes into a lot. And a lot of people don't really care that much for insurance. I mean, let's face it, who wants insurance? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you made the comment about it could be too much insurance, and that's the truth. So what I like to do is sit down, listen to you, talk to my clients, and find out what's going on in their life. And then let's take a look at what insurance they have and what they don't have, and let's make sure that we fit it to what they actually do need.
So it's ideal.
It's ideal. Oh, I like it. Let's go with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, insurance can be very confusing to people, and it doesn't seem very sexy.
Right.
But in listening to you just speak about it right there, like your whole face lit up.
Oh.
Because what you said was, you know, I'm listening to you. I want to talk about you. I want to learn about what's really going to work for your family.
Right.
So this feels like it's more almost like you're on a mission or something.
Well,
or it's a passion.
It's a very big
rather
passion.
Than just, hey, we got an insurance lady over here today. You know,
Yes.
I wanted them to really hear from you.
Well, that's nice.
Ta-da!
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know that lights up your face.
Right.
So it's a passion. Tell us about that.
It is. You know, it's able to help somebody, you know, and whenever I first got involved with the insurance industry, I didn't realize how much I could help other people. But when you have someone who goes through a catastrophic illness, you know, like a cancer or a major heart attack, and you're able to be there to provide a benefit for them, to help them go through that catastrophic event in their life, to be their friend, you know, and to be somebody who says, don't worry about it. Don't let money be stopping you from getting the treatment you need. Let's make sure you do what you need to do for you, because your family's depending on you, right? Yeah. Everybody wants you to be there for them. So we want to make sure that that can happen. And in the industry with insurance, people do look at it like, oh, it's just another insurance.
Yeah.
But it's really not when you come down to it. And we all have a fiduciary responsibility to pay the doctors and hospitals for doing that amazing work that they do. And insurance is a great way of you helping to make sure that that person gets paid.
Yeah.
It's not a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's just so much more personal. It's so much warmer when I hear you say it.
Oh, well, good.
So this person who mentored you, you were in retail, and we're definitely going to go down the retail road because there's just some, well, I'm sure they weren't hysterical at the time, but when you sit back on the porch now and talk about them, there's some really funny retail space in there for you. So
got cocktails because we might need it.
Having that background in retail, but then at some point you had to make this jump, and your mentor helped you to see that, right?
Exactly.
So you knew him from retail,
correct?
Right?
Correct.
And you went and said,
I'm
out of here, right?
I did. I went and talked with him, and I said, you know, he was always somebody that I could rely on to give me advice and to kind of push me at the same time.
That's what great mentors do.
And he would put me out of my comfort zone, let me tell you. He did. He did a good job of that, but he taught me so much at the same time. And as a matter of fact, even before I got into the insurance, when it came time to even doing your financials, planning your 401ks and your retirements and buying the insurance that you're going to do, he was somebody that I could go to and say, you know, really, do I need that? And he would say,
okay.
yeah, you kind of do, and this is what you need to do with it. You know, if the company's gonna cost share with you on that, let's use every penny that they do and you match it.
Smart
Let's
mentor.
make sure that we do that. You know, he was the type of guy that put $20 in his pocket, and if he ended up having to buy something that day, he bought it with cash, and he took the change and put it in the other pocket, and he didn't spend any more of it. And then the end of the month, it all goes in the bank. You know,
wow, great.
It was
practice.
great. Yeah, he was good. Different things like that. But so when I decided that I was getting out of the retail business, sat down and talked with him, and he tried his best to talk me out of it. Because he was a big believer in sticking on that path and going for it. Because you're on the road, Jackie, into high business. You know, trying to push me even further and further.
Okay.
But he told me if I did decide that I wanted to get out, just to let him know. Yeah. And I called him a couple weeks later and said, I'm done. I'm just so done. When you're done, you're done. You just know it.
Yeah.
You know.
Put a fork in me. I am done.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've accomplished everything I choose to accomplish during this avenue. So met with him, and then we started talking about what he was going through with his own personal life, and kind of walked me into the insurance industry. And he knew someone very high up within the Aflac organization on the insurance. And so he introduced me to that person. And the next thing I know, I was like, you know what, let's do it.
So I want to talk about the mentor for a minute, because what this mentor is doing for you is so important. For those of us who are seeking mentors, which everybody should be,
right,
and for those of us who are being asked to be mentors, he's giving you direction. He's encouraging you to stay, but he gives you the space to say, but if you're gonna leave, just come see me first, right? And so you go to see him, and you know he's going to impart wisdom to you. This is what I love, though. In that mentor-mentee relationship, we go through changes. And so in this moment, he shares a little about himself.
Yes.
And that actually ends up being what opens this door for you.
Right.
Because
the light bulb goes off.
The light bulb happens.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then the next thing, as a mentor, let's go back to the mentor and what he does, is he connects you with someone he knows.
With going into the Aflac part of it, and working on that. And I worked my way in Aflac. I kind of worked up a little bit. I worked into management. I was doing a district role, mentoring other people, helping them start their careers, which was a lot of fun. I have to admit, it was a lot of fun. I loved watching somebody who didn't think they could walk in a room and actually take charge of it. I mean, that was amazing. Yeah. I'd be so proud, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Just so excited for them, you know, when they got told no, that they didn't stop. You know, the biggest challenge you can have in life is being told no and saying, wait a minute, are you saying no, or are you saying no, not right now? You know, figuring that out was really awesome. And I loved watching that happen. But anyway, I did that for a while, and enjoyed that. Had some personal things going on with my mother. Ended up needing to go to Arizona for a while and back and forth. So I was doing some of that. Hard to lead a team when you're not with them all the time, or at least nearby. But they were doing so good on their own anyway. They really didn't need me, you know, to be honest. But
hey, that's the sign of the best leaders, when the team carries on and they don't need you.
I'm like, I can stay away and they can keep rocking. That was pretty good. So, but anyway, I decided to make a few changes at that point. So I stepped out of that role, but I didn't want to get out of the insurance business. I wanted to stay involved in it, but I wanted to take it to a different level. I thought, you know what, I'm doing all of this and I'm doing it for, maybe I can do all of this and do it for me and for my family. So let me step out on this little ledge and try to learn something else and to just go. So that's what I did. So
you're stepping out on a ledge, but you didn't step out like on a ledge of a different building. You stayed in the building.
I stayed in my lane.
Insurance lane, but went out on the ledge there.
Correct.
So what does that look like? I mean, is this over, you know, do you do a crossover for a couple of months, or do you just say goodbye Aflac and hang your shingle? What happens?
Nope. You kind of marry them, I think. You know, but it is a learning time when you've got to learn different types of insurances. You've got to learn different businesses even, and you've got to kind of take a different spin on things. So when you're doing voluntary insurance with businesses, you're talking to the business owners basically about how I can help you with morale and keep and train and build your team, and be there to support you, to, not only are we going to do that, but we need to take it to the next level for your employees. We need to provide them some other benefits. And how can we do that for them without really changing the dynamics of your business too much? Does that make sense to you a little bit?
It kind of does. I'd like to make the distinction when you said voluntary insurance. So that is people within the business, like the employees, are purchasing insurance. That's the Aflac on their own. And so the other part that you stepped into and really started to learn about and grow, and what my Ideal Solutions is heavy now, is the part where the company pays part or all of that.
Part.
Yes. Okay, so they pay part of the insurance. And then you said and bring in other benefits.
Correct.
Does that mean the benefits of like the insurance?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in changing a business structure then, because if I start providing this, that affects my bottom line and how we do business and other rules and regulations. Is that right?
And having to abide by those different rules and being knowledgeable enough for the business owners or the management team to understand how that's going to affect their bottom line and help them with, people want to look at it as cost, but I look at it as growth.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're going to be bringing on more people.
Right.
Because you're going to be able to entice those people that can really help you grow your business. Because now we've taken it to a little bit different level.
Oh, yes.
Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. In any business, the most valuable asset that you have is your people. And so the better you're taking care of your people, the better your people are going to take care of your customers and your business.
And they're going to grow your dream for you.
Yeah, you need to treat them right and take care of them.
Correct.
Okay.
Your businesses can only be as good as the people who are helping you run them.
Right. Right.
So you can have all the great ideas in the world and you can, go out there and do it, but you got to have some support.
Yeah.
So, that's part of it. But not only is it just that, on the side of Ideal Solutions, it's on the individual side also, to where you have entrepreneurs who are needing insurance. They need someone to help them walk through that process of not knowing how and what's open and available for them. Also, what's out there for them to choose from,
Right.
And then you have the seniors of the world. The folks who are graduating on and they need to make some changes.
Yeah, because at different places and phases of your life, you need different things.
Correct.
So you've got to keep doing kind of the insurance checkup, and you've got to have somebody who knows what's going on. The landscape of insurance has changed tremendously over the last 8-10 years. How do you keep up with all of that change? Because it's
called gray hair.
Yeah. I love it. It's called passion for your people, I think.
It is. It's called. That's the one thing that I really do admire and hate about the insurance business is there's a lot of certification. So in order for you to sell insurance, to offer insurance, to be able to help people with it, you've got to know your stuff. And it takes a lot of time and energy to do that. The certification process is daunting sometimes, but we're never too old to start learning, right? So we just keep growing. And as it changes, like you made the comment, that the insurance industry has changed quite a bit over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot of keeping up with and a lot of changes that you've got to be on top of. And I think that people need to rely on their insurance agent to be able to do that for them.
Well, and that's part of, me having you come here, because people really need to know there's a difference between an insurance agent, right? Just like somebody who sells insurance.
Right.
And somebody who's passionate about becoming a member of your family to help you to craft what's going to be right for your family.
Right.
And that's the reason you're sitting in the chair, right?
Well, thank
because
you.
I know that about you.
Thank you.
That you're passionate about this and being part of people's lives. And we depend on.
Yeah. I want you to see me in the grocery store and say, "Come on over, Jackie. I want to talk to you. Let me share this recipe with you." Not me, Jackie, trying to hide because you found me. I want you to be happy that you saw me.
Absolutely. I love that. So let's give folks a little bit more Jackie. Okay. I just have to go down the retail path here because it's part of what creates who you are today, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk for a minute about the groundbreaking that you did in Rome, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're going back. Okay. So, in what year is this when you're in Rome?
2002.
2002. Okay.
Yes.
So this is 17 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Think about this. 2002, Jackie's in Rome, Georgia. And at that time you're working for Sears.
Yes.
Yes. And you are put in the position of store manager.
Correct.
Right? Now, tell them you're the only what?
Well, I found out kind of an odd way. I had a reporter come into my office and said she wanted to do an interview with me. And I was like, oh, okay, why? What do we need to do that for? And and she said, well, because you're the first female store manager that we've had in a big box store out in Rome, Georgia. And I was just like, I know.
Did you have any idea?
I had zero idea. I mean, I've been in the retail world for many years, you know, and had never had anything like that happen. So it was quite the honor, I have to say.
Absolutely.
It was quite the honor, and it was also a lot to live up to. You know, you're talking a lot of good old boys.
Absolutely. In Rome, Georgia, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good old boy network.
Yes.
You're a woman. You're really a trailblazer. And what I love about it is you didn't even know you were that until somebody came and brought it to your attention.
Correct.
I think that's phenomenal, right?
That is.
So let's talk a little bit about being this woman,
Okay.
big box store manager, and some of the clients of the store, some of your customers, and how did they treat you with that?
Well, they loved me.
Yeah.
I have to say, they little old ladied me a lot. You know, this is the thing. You're dealing with a very rural area, and you have a lot of farms. You have a lot of mechanics. You know, you have a lot of good people. Heart of America is what I like to say.
Absolutely.
And they would have an issue come up, or something that they weren't happy with, or something that they wanted. It wasn't always negative stuff, but something that they wanted. And they would ask for the store manager, and then I would come around the corner, you know, and here I am. I'm here to help you. I'd introduce myself, and often I would get, well, aren't you just the sweetest thing? I appreciate you trying to offer to help, but why don't you go get me somebody who can actually take care of it for me? I heard that several times. Little lady, it's so nice of you to come by and try. But let me talk to the man in charge.
Yeah. Let me talk to the man in charge.
The man in charge. And I would just have to look at him and say, well, you're kind of looking at him.
I love that.
You know?
Here I am, the man
here,
in charge.
And I guarantee you, before you leave, I'm going to take care of whatever issue that you have, and you're going to be happy with it. And that was my challenge. My challenge was to say to them, let's see what it is. And then let me see how I can fix it for you. Yeah. And I learned a long time ago, you just don't ever give a yes or a no. You give an option. You know what? That's great. We can do this, this, or this. Which one would work out better for you? And that would always kind of stump them a lot.
That's huge right there.
You know?
Yeah. Always give the option. Can you name, like, how did you learn that? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I guess it's something that you learn.
Just
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah.
I learned it from somebody amazing, but I don't even know who that was. But I just know that it works.
Yeah.
It does work.
Giving people an option puts them into thought mode instead of that closed down.
And they're in charge again.
Yeah.
So my client is sitting here in front of me saying, you know what? I don't like this tractor that you sold me.
Okay.
You know, I don't think that it's going to happen the way that I need it to happen. And so then I give them a couple of options and say, well, which one would you prefer us to do?
Yeah.
Now they're back in charge, so they feel like they've made their own decision. And in fact, I really kind of made it for them, but I've given them a couple of options to go.
You narrowed it
knowing
down.
what I was going to do for them.
Right.
I gave them those options.
Still give them the options. It's all in how you craft the option, right?
Right. And men like to feel like, and I don't mean to say anything negative about men because I love men.
Yeah.
I like my life with men in them.
I love that.
I do like
that. How many men are in your life, Jackie? No, we don't have to go there.
That's a whole story. No. But yeah, I think that they need to feel like they've made that decision, so they can go home happy and pleased with whatever happened.
Right. The reporter comes in and she reveals this to you, that
Yes.
you're this groundbreaker.
Yes.
And she does the story. Was it newspaper or
Yeah,
television?
newspaper
Story. Okay. So then the story comes out. Did anything happen around that? Does anybody comment, or what happens?
I had several phone calls, welcoming me in. I did have several
From
people
what kind of folks
that just lived in the neighborhood,
Oh, wow.
and they said, I saw the article and just wanted to welcome you to Rome,
How nice.
The Chamber of Commerce, came around and they just wanted to come in and say hi also.
Okay.
I wasn't as involved in the community before that. When you're working retail, you're 24/7.
Hours, yeah.
So you're focused a lot on that, especially when you're in upper management,
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time that I ever realized the impact that I could have, not just as a store manager and not just as a female in the community, but a person in the community. And how could I get involved, and how could I bring that store involvement to the community? How could we all get together as a team and start providing for them? So one of the first things they did was they asked me if I would be arrested for was the muscular dystrophy, I think it was.
Yeah, okay.
Deal. And they actually, the Rome, Georgia police showed up in their police car and in their garb, and they fully arrested me and walked me through my store, as a matter of fact. And luckily, the employees there all paid to get me bailed out.
You bailed out. I love it.
So it was the first time that I realized that there was more than just going to work and being a part of that community.
Yeah,
that's being a part of the bigger community.
That's a big one. That's really big. I want to be sure. I just want to connect the dots on that one a little bit, because so often we watch or we work every day, and it is just I go to work.
Right.
And you're part of the work community. But when you discover that the work community is part of the bigger community, it changes everything.
It does.
I'm a big proponent, I think it came out of BNI, of the saying, givers gain. And when you give first, when you do things like what you did as taking the store and becoming part of the community, that's your give.
Yeah.
And then you gain from that because, of course, the customer loyalty and all of those things come. But I love it, just the givers gain. And you are really big involved now. So now you're in Myrtle Beach. That was in Rome, right?
Correct.
And did you come from Rome, Georgia to Myrtle Beach?
I came from actually Marietta, Georgia to Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in Marietta is where you had your mentor that allowed you to leave from Big Box. And
Correct.
So when you came here, you started in insurance. Am I right about that?
I actually started in Georgia.
In Georgia, okay.
And then I moved here and opened up my own.
This
insurance.
is the home place, the birthplace of my ideal solutions.
This is the birth.
How'd you select Myrtle Beach? Why here?
I mean, why not?
Well, true. Silly me. Yeah, Wynn, come on.
Come on. I mean, can you think of a better place to come?
Nope.
And,
I think this is a beautiful place.
It was a choice. Actually, we were deciding. It was a life choice for me because I was deciding what I wanted to do with the insurance. Did I want to stay and become a trainer within the Aflac organization?
Okay.
Or did I want to start on my own and do something different? Oh. And that was pivotal. So I had been offered a training position in Dallas, Texas with the Aflac organization. And then, or did I want to do this?
You weigh in those two things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we won the beach one.
The beach one. I love it. We've talked to several people on the Wynn Show who have had to weigh those choices, and who have spoken about it. I'm sure everybody who's been on the show, because we all make choices throughout our life. But a couple who've said, this was that turning moment. I had this and I had that, and I had to make that decision. Well, we're super glad that the beach won. We're glad this is where you chose to be.
Am.
And you are very involved with the community here, right? And so you kind of brought forth what you learned in Rome through Marietta and brought it here with you. So what are the kind of ways that you are involved in the community here?
Well, I do a lot with the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. I do a lot with them.
You're an ambassador
I'm an ambassador
them, right?
with them.
Okay.
And I tell you what, that's what really grew my business.
Wow.
If I could give credit to a certain organization, it's going to be that organization.
Okay.
Becoming an ambassador with them meant that I was out in the community a lot, talking to a lot of businesses and individuals, different entrepreneurs, just getting to know everybody here. So the more you give, the more you're going to receive. And so when you said that earlier, I thought about that, because that's the facts. You know, if you can give of yourself, then people will remember, oh, you know what, I need insurance. Let me call Jackie.
Yeah.
Or I have a new family that just moved into town because I'm a realtor. You know, let me give you to Jackie because she can get you taken care of on your insurance.
Yeah.
You know, so it becomes a win-win for everybody to do that.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. I didn't even plan that.
we code in on that word a lot around here.
And it is. So it is true. And I met you through the Myrtle Beach area Chamber of
that's
Commerce.
where we met.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me this. We'll wrap up in this way, but I got to ask, was there ever a time since you started My Ideal Solutions where you just said, this is impossible? Forget it, done. And how'd you overcome that?
Well, you know, I don't know with Ideal Solutions that I ever had that.
Okay.
I did have it when I first started in the insurance industry.
Okay.
I did have it then. And there were days when I said, I'm done. It's over. Because it's so frustrating. And it's you know, you're go, go, go. And you beat yourself up. You know, you feel like I didn't do everything right, or I didn't say that right, and I didn't get that group, or I didn't get that account, or, you know, I wasn't successful with this or that, or it's just too much. But then you look in the mirror and you say, you know what? Are you going to let that stop you? No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so. So, you know, it's a little bit of pride.
Okay.
And it's a little bit of knowing what you're doing is making a difference. And I have a husband who reminds me often that don't get frustrated. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. And he has done that more times than not. Even the other day, as a matter of fact, we were at an event, and I was talking about a certain thing and saying, you know what, I don't think I even want to do that anymore. I think that that's a part of my career that I don't know that I want to push. And I had a hand on my shoulder, and he said, what? He said, you think that's really the best decision? And I said, well, I think for right now it is. And he said, well, then I just want you to take a second and remember Jackie. And I heard him saying it as he was saying it. And I almost said it right with him. I know, remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. And he's true. It's right. So he is my biggest cheerleader. He's my one that says, come on, you can do it. Yeah. And why would you not?
Shout out to the hubs right here.
Yeah. You got to have a support system. And what a better support system than your spouse.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm blessed, very blessed to have someone who believes in me, probably more than I believe in myself. So that's good.
That's fantastic. Yeah. You got to have somebody in your corner, and you're right. If it's your spouse, that's the icing.
It is.
I mean, cake is somebody in your corner, right?
Right.
But when it is your spouse, because being an entrepreneur or solopreneur, starting from the nothing to building this business, it's hard.
Yes,
it's ups and downs, and having a cheerleader is needed.
Yeah, and especially when you're used to bringing home a big old paycheck.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's not just going, where's that big old paycheck you used to bring in here, sister?
Because when, like you said, when you're asking, was there a time when you just wanted to quit? And that was at the beginning, because I was used to making a really decent, you know, good upper six figures. Right. And then you're going to working for yourself, and everything's commission based. Which, by the way, folks, commission is all an insurance person gets paid. So, you know, going from that to that, that's where you get the stress, is more of that. So having somebody who says, it's a paycheck, come on, we can make it.
Wow,
you know,
that's big.
You can make it happen. So, yeah.
And he sounds like he really has a good handle on your why as well, because that's what he's bringing you back to. Remember why you do it. Right. Remember why you do this.
Yeah. He took that leap with me when I took that leap. He was right there. So, you know, it doesn't affect just yourself. You affect your family and sometimes even your friends, you know, because they're going to be your support system. Yeah. Or they're going to be your naysayer, which we all have those.
We all, yep. And it's okay, right?
It is okay.
Sometimes the naysayers, we talk about them as being our sacred friends because they push us to find something deeper within ourselves than our yes friends will ever find.
Correct.
Right?
Oh, I agree with that. That's great. That's great.
I want to give you a chance to sort of look folks in the eye and tell them two things. One, I want you to give them the word. Like if somebody's watching and they're going, I kind of want to make my leap, but I don't know. I've been a little chicken. Like, how do they make that leap? Because you were courageous and did it. And the other thing I want you to do is also I want you to do your commercial for My Ideal Solutions too.
Oh.
So, but talk to us first about encourage us to take the step. What does it take to take
I'm going to
the
look straight
step?
here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell them.
And I'm going to say, if you're thinking about it and you can't make that decision, close your eyes and take a step forward and don't look backwards. Because when you look forward, all you're going to see is the success that you're going to make. Don't worry about that. You know, we all have naysayers out there, like I mentioned earlier. Those people do help challenge us. They're the ones that give us that, what do you mean I can't? What do you mean you don't think this will work? You know, because then we're going to prove them wrong, right? So, and if you have a backup plan, that's great. But do you need a full backup plan? Because a lot of people wait till they've got all their blocks in place before they start crossing over that bridge. And if you ever seen one of those swing bridges where they have the wood going across and the rope is holding them, and you have to take that piece of wood behind you and you put it in front of you so you can make that next step. Now, I don't like heights, so I wouldn't be on that bridge, but I will take that piece of wood and put it in front of me the next time and just keep moving forward. You just can't say no. If it's passionate about it, if you believe in it and you think that it's the right thing for you, I just strongly encourage you, go out and make it happen.
Oh my gosh. I want to go make it happen.
Okay, let's go.
That was great.
Let's
Jackie,
go.
thank you for that. Oh my gosh.
You're
All right,
welcome.
now commercial up, baby.
You know,
just
I don't
tell
do
them how to
commercials.
get you.
I just don't do it.
Well,
My Ideal Solutions.
Yeah.
How
How do we find you?
You can Google me,
Okay.
Ideal Solutions in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to my website. It's idealsolutions_insurance.com.
Okay.
And my phone number is 843-213-2531.
Woo!
I've got that one down pat.
Yeah, call Jackie. That's how we find Jackie.
You know what? Just go to Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce and look up Insurance Jackie Neal, and you're going to find me.
There we go. Thank you so much for your time on the porch today.
Well, thank you.
You've been inspirational to us.
You're inspirational to me all the time.
Well, thanks for that.
So I appreciate the opportunity to sit. Anytime I can sit with you, I'm a happy girl.
Wow. Everybody comes to Wynn, right?
Come on in. That's right.
Oh, gosh. Thank you so much. We hope that this episode of the Wynn Show has inspired you to put your wood block forward and take your next step. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Wynn Show. This is Wynn, and I'm inviting you to discover what's possible in your life by joining me in the I'm Possible Discovery program. You can find all the details at bsharp.us/join.